Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to yet another great episode of Bahrain Now, where we bring you initiatives and happenings from around the Kingdom of Bahrain. I'm your host, Khalid Hijras, here to walk you through our exciting lineup of segments and personalities from around Bahrain. So stay tuned, and we'll be right back with more. The British Club in the Kingdom of Bahrain has recently marked a monumental milestone with the celebration of its 90th anniversary, a journey that has been marked by a rich history and a continued commitment to fostering strong ties between the United Kingdom and Bahrain. The 90th anniversary celebrations brought together new and long-standing members, ensuring that people from all walks of life, whether they had been part of the British Club for years or were recently joining, felt a sense of belonging. This inclusivity is at the heart of the club's ethos, ensuring that every member could connect to its vibrant community, share memories, and make new ones. And to talk more about that, we are pleased to be joined here at the studio by the British Club manager, Mr. Daniel McRae. Welcome, how are you doing today?
I'm great, and thank you for having me. It's a real privilege.
It's a pleasure to have you. Now, just to start us off, how did the British Club prepare for this very monumental 90th anniversary celebration?
Probably with a lot of stress and pressure behind the scenes. We started just about September, planning the whole of next year. So from January right through to December, we've got a calendar of different events. The first one being the 6th and 7th of February, which is the birth date. And we started with a black tie event on the 6th, where we invited members who'd been 25 years as members, committee, and obviously local ministry, the British ambassador. So we had a black tie, 3-course meal, lovely music, and a chance to, with the help of the GDN, to look at old photographs and just memorabilia from over the years that I had never seen before. So I was like a kid in a sweet shop looking at the screen going, wow, in 1935 it was a building and a tiny little swimming pool to what it's evolved to now. So yeah, we've put a lot of hard work in behind the scenes to try and provide a catalogue of events throughout the year.
And what a brilliant way to commemorate the anniversary. And how did the celebration embrace both like the older members and the newer members of the club?
I think what was really nice was we only had space for 120. So we decided that first priority was 25-year member plus. So most of them were local Bahraini. So it was actually quite inspiring meeting people who had flown in for the event that were maybe honorary members, local members, and then obviously we've got a new young committee, so that was quite interesting. And then we picked some of our members who had added value throughout the year, so maybe someone who was looking after the tennis section, who was integrating local, British, all the nationalities to go and play tennis. So we tried to get a nice balance and blend of people, and it was a very good night.
Wonderful. And what can you tell us about the idea behind the British Club, like having this establishment here in the Kingdom of Bahrain?
Well, I think because we arrived 1935 as a club, and we're obviously made to feel very welcome. And I think the relationship that Bahrain and Britain has is just incredible. You know, the same kind of inclusive, make people feel welcome. So we wanted to build on that. From the black tie on the Thursday to the Friday, we had a street party. And we included everything from the Great British Bake Off. We had local stall vendors, we had local artists displaying their work, and it was just a street style party on the Friday. And I think that encompasses what Bahrain is all about, that it wants everyone to feel included. And the Brit Club has a slogan called Home from Home. So we try and make everyone feel home from home. So when you become a member or you're brought in by a guest, we want you to feel that you're at home. And I think Bahrain does that as a country probably better than anywhere I've been in the world.
Actually, I'm happy you brought that up, because that slogan, I think, fits what so many people say about the Kingdom of Bahrain. And it's great to see that not only is that something that's felt in the country, but something that your club also fosters. Now, you've touched on this a bit earlier. You talked about it going from a small building with a swimming pool to what it is now. Could you tell us a little bit about the stages of progress for the club?
Yeah, I think because we've always been a non-for-profit business, which is great, you know, because it means you can do the right things all the time, instead of always trying to chase the dinar, as they say. I think because it's been committee-led throughout all the years, there's always been good guidance with different vision. So our chairman just resigned after 10 years because he moved to the Maldives. We have a new chairman. He's a bit younger. Old chairman will kill me for saying that. But you know, he's innovative, he's ambitious, he wants the inclusion. He's got a different vision than maybe the last one in terms of modernising, but still keeping the home from home. So I think over the years, you know, we added tennis courts, we added a fitness studio, we added a coffee shop. So I think we just listened to the members for what they really wanted it to be and need. And then myself, I've been there 6 years. My job is to kind of deliver home from home and just enhance the membership for people who come and spend their time there.
Wonderful. I mean, I think a lot of people, when they hear the term club, it sounds so elusive and exclusive, but I think you guys have managed to foster that spirit of community and, like you said, inclusivity. And now, I think you've touched on this a bit, but let's talk a little bit more about the Bahraini and British ties. Like, how does that make you, how do you value that connection between Bahrain and the UK?
I think you could probably use the word priceless. It's very genuine. You couldn't buy the relationship. You know, when I first came, my first week, I was invited to so many Bahraini households to have dinner, to meet the family, and I thought, wow, this is just amazing. Just because I'm British, but no, it's anyone that comes on the island. But especially Bahrain and Britain have got such a very tight bond, you know, and we obviously respect every rule in Bahrain, and we make that very clear when you come to the club. We have a set of rules for behaviour, just like the island does. So I think there's quite a lot of symmetry that works really well.
Absolutely, and I've experienced it firsthand, for example, as a Bahraini, even in Britain. I think a relationship goes beyond borders, and vice versa. I think a lot of British people feel at home, and you know, you've said this, they feel at home in Bahrain, and I think a lot of us as Bahrainis, we go to Britain, we don't feel kind of like outsiders, so it's great to see how all of that has accumulated in a community such as yours. And now, what can you tell us a little bit about the social and cultural activities of the club?
So I think we have 17 different sections. So when you're a member of the club, you can form a section. So we have everything from table tennis to squash to bridge to taekwondo for the children, badminton. So there's a lot of sporting activity that goes on with it within the club. Then we've got drama section, we've got art. So once a month we have an art exhibition with local artists when we display all their work for a month, give members a chance to see it and to buy it. Yeah, we have live music. I think we just try and embrace, we've got 72 different nationalities as members. So, you know, everyone will have a different idea, and we want to try and showcase as much culture to all our members and make everyone welcome. When we have an open day, we don't charge people to come in, and we want to showcase, you know, the best of Bahrain, really. That's
wonderful. I mean, I really enjoy how you've created something that is so active as well. I mean, there's a lot to do, and then also the fact that members have their input, like you said, with making sections. Now that leads me to my next question, which is, what are the types of facilities one can expect at the British Club?
Well, I think we're not too bad facilities-wise. We have squash, tennis, we have fitness, we have an indoor theatre, we have a coffee shop, we have a restaurant, we have a fantastic swimming pool. So yeah, we've got enough to keep people active, but I also say it's your leisure time. So if you've had a hard working week and you just want to chill and have a coffee with your friends, or you want to listen to one of the local live musicians, then it's a great place to just come and unwind. And my job is to kind of be invisible. So make sure it runs smooth, but I don't want to invade your spare time. So I'm there to make sure it runs nice and hopefully deliver enjoyable products and events for for you and members to come and enjoy.
Well, it sounds like you're doing a great job. If anything you have to say is an indicator. So, I mean, good job on that. I can't imagine the responsibility that goes behind it as well. But I think that you and your team have created an incredible leisure space and community, and I think that's something to be proud of. And now, what is something that what are some upcoming events that you'd like to share with us happening at the club?
Yeah, so I think that the next interesting one is, you've obviously heard of the Notting Hill Carnival in London. So we're going to try and create a British Bahrain Carnival at the end of April.
Wonderful.
Where we will have just a mix of every type of artist, dancers, street food, where the whole of Bahrain will be welcome to come. So I think that's our next big event. And then the rest has to remain a wee bit of a secret till the second half of the year, but I'll give you one more. You obviously lived in the UK, as we discussed, so
yes,
we'll be doing things like Mr. and Mrs., the TV show, where you ask questions about your partner and how well do you know your partner. So,
good idea.
What day was your partner's birthday on? Was it a Wednesday or a Friday? Just little fun questions.
That's either going to be a disaster or a lot of
fun. Absolutely. And that's just a typical British old-fashioned show. So we'll be doing stuff like that throughout the year that we'll just have a bit of fun with.
Wonderful. I wish you all the best, and I hope maybe you'll come back to join us to tell us how it goes.
I would certainly love that. That would be amazing.
Thank you so much for joining us again. Ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned. We'll be right back with more here on Bahrain Now. The Kingdom's netball national team, nicknamed the Bahrain Pearls, has bagged the silver medals at the Saudi Netball Festival 2025 that was recently held at Princess Noura bint Abdulrahman University in Riyadh. This competition was the first for the Pearls since their historic debut at the 13th Asian Netball Championship in India last year, and serves as a key part of their preparations for the upcoming Inter-Gulf Netball Championship in Abu Dhabi, UAE. And to talk more about that, we are pleased to be joined here by the Director of Bahrain Netball, Khaloud Ali, Coach Joanna Reed, and the players Amani Al Asfour and Rama Salim. Welcome, how are you guys doing today?
Good, thank you.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure to have you, ladies. Now, first, we'd like to congratulate you on this achievement, which is a huge testament to the hard work that you guys have put in. How do you feel about it?
Well, speaking for everybody here, I think we're really, really happy with the outcome we had in Saudi. It was captained by Rama, and Joe was the coach. Amani was missing in action this week, but she usually is always on point with coming on. We're really happy with the outcome of that tournament. It really gives us a good preparation for what's coming in April. Hopefully, inshallah, with the upcoming training sessions, we will try and place in the top 3 at Intergulf.
Inshallah. And can you guys tell us a little bit about what the preparation process looks like for you guys?
Yeah, well, we're currently under weekly training sessions, and this is part of a much longer plan for our preparations, sort of 18 months out from the next Asian Games in Hong Kong next year. So every tournament that we take part in, whether it's the Saudi Festival, the Intergulf and other tournaments, we're looking to have a Bahrain Invitational tournament later in the year. And all of this is part of our sort of staged preparation to get towards Asian Games in Hong Kong.
Wonderful. And in the preliminary round, you guys dominated. You guys secured quite a lot of wins. What can you tell us about that, and as well as other successes that led to the quite frankly impressive victories that you guys have achieved so far?
Yeah, so it really just came down to hard work, but also team chemistry. I think we came into the competition with a very strong game plan, and also just a clear focus on our strengths individually, and just knowing exactly what each team member can bring to the table. Every game was a new challenge. We adapted. We would come together, refine our strategies, and take on, follow that momentum on. We had a good winning streak, and just wanted to make sure that we really kept that momentum going. It helped so much that we had a very, very strong, dominant defensive unit, which I guess in any sport, but particularly in netball, when your defense has such big possession of the game, it really helps. It helps for the flow of the game and to just have that control. So I think with most of the games, we really just dominated a lot of control, and yeah.
That's absolutely wonderful, and you mentioned something about teamwork, and ever since you guys have sat down, I can see that there's a great dynamic between you all. Can you tell us a bit more about how teamwork comes to play together in netball?
Yeah, sure. It is any team sport provides, I think, a lot of life skills as well. You learn about collaboration. You need communication, and in Bahrain, in netball, it is about supporting each other out on court, knowing each other's strengths. Obviously, there's a lot of technicality that goes into timing and positioning and all of that, but it is about all of the team who are on court at that time, supporting one another, reading the game, looking to fill any gaps, work out how the opponents are playing, and then counteract that with your own skills and your own techniques.
I think that's very fitting that you said that, actually, because you recently put out a statement talking about how the youth and experience can combine in order to create a really dynamic experience of netball. So I'd like to hear you elaborate more about that.
Sure. Saudi was a great opportunity for us. Our squad was a real mix of experienced players. There was 4 of the ladies who took part in India in last year's Asian Games, and 2 complete newcomers to our squad, our youth players. So it was a real opportunity for us to let them see international competition for the first time. The travelling that goes with that, all of the formalities that go around opening ceremonies and those sort of things. That is what happens off court. But what happens on court when they're inserted into a team of experienced players, it gives them the opportunity to showcase their skills. And we always say in any team sport, you play to the level of your opponents, and then you try and push on and make that difference across the team. So yeah, it was a great opportunity for them to experience that. And I think also for us, one of the goals was to continue to support the growth of the great game in Saudi Arabia as well. We travelled there last year when they had their first tournament, and that's good for the netball across the GCC, whichever country it's being played in. So we've always been committed to helping them grow the game, and help them spread the word about netball in Saudi as well.
Wonderful. I mean, with that mindset, I'm not surprised you ended up being a coach. I mean, it's very proactive. It's very understanding not only the game, but also the environment. So, I mean, very well said. I don't think anyone could have put it better.
Thank you.
And now you're clearly a group of very confident ladies. You've got the sports blazers and everything. I don't think there is much that intimidates you guys. But I obviously with an experience like this, reaching the heights that you did, I'm sure you guys came across some challenges. So would you guys like to elaborate on some challenges you faced and how you overcame them?
Well, it was our first international tournament when we went to India to take part in the Asian Games. So it was very challenging because we didn't know what to expect. Everyone had played and taken part with in the Asian Games for many years. I think aside from one other team, that was also their first time. We didn't really know what to expect. But hopefully next time, now that we've had that experience, we'll just be better for the next game and we'll be more prepared, and we're excited to be part of international tournaments. It's a really big achievement, that we've.
There was a lot of firsts for the ladies as well.
Yeah.
Getting off the coach and there's a television camera. There's there's reporters that want to speak to you. There's a very elaborate opening ceremony. So there's lots of firsts for the team where you're marching out behind your country flag, the country flag that you're representing. All of that, aside from what goes on in the game, that can be overwhelming. So it was a great opportunity for everyone on the squad to experience that, to get used to that, to know that that's what we've got to go through before every game. And yeah, we grew through the week. I mean, I don't want to say that by the end of the week we were like, we're really cool with all of this, because you still want to focus on on, giving your best out on court, but you have to deal with all of that goes around the preparation for a tournament like the Asian Championships.
Was anyone more intimidated by the formalities than the actual game?
The game was pretty intimidating.
Yeah,
It was just a completely different
that's
format
true.
to how we run the league here. We only played 10-minute quarters here. There it was 15-minute quarters, so adding 20 minutes to the game, it doesn't actually sound that hard, but it's very high intensity. But we got through it, we powered through, and it was every day we had a different game. We were also training for an hour before the game on top of that, so it was very, it took a lot of hard work, but we got through it and we were very proud of ourselves. Yeah.
And I think just to add on that as well, I think there was almost a transitional period for a lot of those players that participated in Indian and Asian games, where they went from avid netball players that played it like they enjoy it as a hobby socially, and then suddenly they are these athletes, serious athletes, serious contenders, and there is a really important sort of growth mindset with that, and having to kind of take on things in such a different manner. And I think it really highlighted, especially seeing the other countries that are have been doing this for many years, so experienced. I think it highlighted the real need for support from sporting government entities here, to really think, right, if we're going to be sending this team to go represent Bahrain, we've really got to make sure everything is in place, the right type of training, the fitness level, getting just creating the right, putting everything in place to really prepare the squad to face it.
It's a different ball
it.
game. We've all been playing for more than 20 years.
Yeah.
Oh,
so,
wow.
Yeah, a lot more than that.
More than 20 years,
It was a big shift, it was a huge shift.
Well, I mean, I think it's clear that if anything else, no one can say you ladies are not committed. I mean, I think the commitment part of that is unquestionable, undeniable. And we've spoken a bit about you guys as a team, and again, it is incredible to see that from the moment you guys walked in, I can see the dynamic, and I'm sure that translates incredibly onto the court as well. What were your interactions with other teams like? Did you see similar teamwork between them as well?
It's very strong. Certainly in the established teams, if we refer back to the Asian Championships, you identify very quickly that all of the teams operate as a unit, whether it's training, whether it's in the hotel, when they're hanging out in the hotel. I mean, there's a lot of camaraderie and there's a lot of new friends made. Yeah. But as we were, you are a unit, and we say we travel together, we win together, we lose together, we debrief together, we learn together, we prepare for the next one. So there's a lot of that goes on, and that strength that you have as a team off court, and that support translates onto the court as well when you're playing. And I think that's the gel, if you like, that brings a team together. To be able to know, and from a coach perspective, to know that you can interchange players as you need to adapt to the opponents, to know that you've got that level of commitment and camaraderie between your team, means that you can make those changes without having to second guess. That am I damaging the dynamic? Is it going to upset the balance of the team if I change a player? So when you've got that camaraderie off court, you know that you don't have to that's not going to be a problem on court.
Sounds like a science in and of itself. You're basically like the psychologist of the group. And I appreciate that, because like you said, I mean, sports is very, I say this like I have an expertise, but anything that requires people working as a team, I mean, the more cohesive you are, obviously, the more that you have that bond between you. I can see how that would translate, being able to read each other on the court. You're not going to have the time to communicate with words now, are you?
No.
You're probably out of breath. So it's like you do have to be able to read each other. And I think it's really heartening to see as well the fact that you take that so seriously. Now, we've spoken a bit about the Asian Games. I'd like to ask you guys, what are the preparations for the upcoming Intergulf Netball Championship?
We're training every week. We have a session every Saturday afternoon at the moment, so we're training every week. we will take either 2 or 3 teams. So the Pearls will enter into the competitive pool, and we'll either have 1 or 2 teams in the social competitive pool as well. So yeah, that training is ongoing. As we get closer to the date of the championships, then we might intensify that. As a coach, I'm always pushing.
Are they looking forward to it?
I hope so. I hope so. Because if you're looking forward to it, you enjoy it, you do it, you do it with a sense of, there is a sense of seriousness, but you also want people to enjoy themselves and have fun, and again, that translates out onto the court as well.
Absolutely. I think there are very few experiences in life outside of sports where something can be both enjoyable and intense.
I think because everybody here has passion for the sport.
Absolutely.
I think that's
Very
what
true.
pushes all of us to actually go to training, do what we're supposed to be doing.
Because on top of this,
it's
we
just-
also have league going on as well, so it's
Yeah.
not like we're just playing or practicing
Yeah,
once
so it's
a
just
week.
not training. We
Yeah.
literally have a league going. We have 17 teams in the league. Everyone here represents a club, and we come together when we have to for the Pearls or any tournament, and we just go as a team. And somehow, with that
works.
passion and drive, we always are on top of our
Yeah.
game.
They're playing 3 times a week at the moment. Training,
Yeah.
a training night with their clubs, the match night, and then also squad training as well.
Oh, brilliant. I'm surprised you guys have lives outside of that. I don't think I'd be able to manage that. And, I have to say, it's always great, especially here in the Kingdom of Bahrain, there are so many facilities to make sure that people can practice sports. And as the years go on, you see, even from a governmental level, the importance of sports and keeping fit and, having this lifestyle and community being ingrained into Bahraini culture, be that among, nationals, expatriates, whoever. And it's also great to see as well that there's a lot of support offered for women, as well. So could you guys give us your thoughts on that?
Sure. So it was really nice. Last Thursday was the Bahrain Sports Day. We got invited by the GSA. We were given a spot to showcase netball to the public. We had a really great response. There was so much interest. I'm thinking with the end of the season, we have at least 20 new people joining us. So it looks like we're growing as a sport. I think we celebrated 41 years of netball last October, so this is 42 this year.
42
Congratulations.
So we are really growing. We have 200 ladies in the league, and we're hoping to grow. Facilities, we train at the different clubs, and we have one venue right now for the league, which is the rugby club. But we're looking hopefully to have one venue where it facilitates all the league games, not just at one of our clubs, but an actual facility that we can get provided by the government. So we're working on that right now, hopefully, inshallah, sometime soon.
There's a really
Yeah.
huge push to kind of grow the sport. Because it is kind of fair, you might ask anyone on the street, oh, have you heard of netball? And they're kind of like, oh, I don't know, what is it? It's a bit like basketball. I think there has to be a big focus on youth development, because that's the longevity of the game. They are the future of
Yes,
Bahrain
they're the
netball,
golden generation.
I really hope to see, one of our main missions to, see netball academies growing around the, popping up around the island, and in the same manner that a new, well, we call it new, but it's not really new, but like in the same manner that padel has blown up in Bahrain, and and equal sort of participation from female and male. We'd love to see the same happen for netball, because the unique thing about it is that it is such a female-dominant sport, and that's so great for women, and especially our women. We really want to hope to see more Bahraini participation playing the sport, and really kind of like growing it, and being little girls being able to see the likes of Khaloud, Amani, Bahraini athletes, and be like, hey, I can do that too. I can do that too. I'm really interested to play this sport as well. So, really, kind of lay the foundations, get, all the schools offering netball as a sport, and then seeing academies as well help to promote and build on it. Yeah, and grow divisions within the league, and like Khalid mentioned, build more infrastructure in terms of venues, more accessible venues, and have all the the foundations put in place to really kind of grow netball in Bahrain, because there is massive interest. It's just we're just not quite there with the communication.
Yeah.
Right.
And the infrastructure to
And the
support
infrastructure
that.
to support it, yeah.
Well, I mean, if it's any consolation, I think that there will be a lot of young women and even some young men who will be watching, and they're going to think, especially seeing how passionate you guys are about it. I'm maybe not the biggest sports enthusiast in general, but I mean, you have a very infectious passion for the sport, and it's great to see that you're thinking about, for example, how younger people, getting the youth involved. I think that that's always, the earlier the better.
Sure.
I mean, I think
Absolutely.
you guys all know that better than I do. So, and just the way that you guys talk about it, I think is just so inspiring. Now I'm curious, what is it that drew you guys to netball?
Who do you want to start
Who
with?
do you want to start with?
Let's start with the coach.
I was fortunate enough, and I consider myself fortunate enough now, to have a physical education teacher in school who was part of the England national team at that time. So there was a huge emphasis on netball. So through her passion and her tutoring, I became involved at a very early age. That's been it's been a lifelong sport for me.
Make sure you bring up this interview in your autobiography, because that is a great start. That is classic sports movie start.
Yeah.
What about you, Khalid?
So for me, it started in school. We started around the age of 12, but being in private schools, this is something also I'd like to say, is we really need to start introducing netball to government schools. I think all of us here are from private schools, so we have netball in the curriculum.
Yeah.
So we practice 3 days a week of netball and then going to the league. So I got attached to playing the game and then met these fine ladies, and I think we've been playing ever since, together for over 20 years.
Were you guys similar also, like in school, and that's how it started?
Yeah, I mean, for me it's the same. Yeah, I got introduced to netball at school. I think I've been playing it from such a young age. I think what I loved about it was just how technical the game was, fast-paced, but the most important thing, and it's so rare to find this in other sports, is that it truly is the definition of a team sport. Because you cannot win the game without every single player having a part to play, an involvement. Simply just because of how the game is sort of mapped out. There's different zones, and every player has every player has a role to play, and you don't get that level of like showmanship or the star of the team, because
there's not time.
There's no time. When you're on the netball court, the whole team is playing as an equal, because you all need each other to win the game, and I think that really is what drew me to that sport. It was so unique in that retrospect. Yeah.
That was probably the perfect answer.
She was like, that's so strong, I can't go after that.
I should have gone before.
Well, here's your chance. This has been a very enlightening talk, and I have to say again that the energy that you ladies bring is incredible, and the passion and the achievements. I mean, you guys didn't just talk the talk, you've walked the walk, and hopefully you will continue to do so. Is there any closing statements you guys would like to make?
I would just like to say that this is a great opportunity if anyone is interested. We've got goals, obviously, beyond the team goals. The netball board has got goals to grow the sport in Bahrain, as Khalid said, at as many levels as we can. So if we have the opportunity to work with the public schools, just to create exposure. It's not going to be for everybody, but if it can start a new generation of netballers, that's fantastic. We have a junior academy that operates out of some of the clubs where we've got literally from 6 and 7-year-olds starting, and it's a great place to start. It's where I started, so it is a great place to start your love of the game. So that's one goal, is obviously to spread the sport, to gain a greater standing for the sport as it is at the moment. Another goal is to achieve federation status in Bahrain for the sport, and my personal goal is to be able to host the Asian Games here in Bahrain.
Oh God, yes.
Inshallah.
We all would love to have that.
That would be historic.
Yeah,
That
I think that would be
historic,
fantastic.
yeah.
That would mean that netball has finally landed in the Middle
kingdom,
East, as it were.
yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
in the kingdom for sure.
Inshallah. Is there anything anyone else would like to add?
Anything else? I think we just want to
Yeah.
thank you for
Yeah.
having us.
Yeah,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
Oh,
It's been
thank
And
you.
great.
we're
Yeah.
hoping from this
Appreciate it.
interview we might
Yeah.
get a couple of new
Absolutely,
netball
any
players.
girls or women, you know, watching
wanna
this.
join, yeah.
And how can people get involved?
So they can join our Instagram page. It's netball_Bahrain. They can contact me. Our contact details are all on the page anyway. They can all get in touch with any of us. We're always willing to help, and I think we want to start with doing workshops as well.
For sure.
So hopefully with the gain of interest, we might actually start an academy soon.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you, ladies, so
Thank
much for
you.
joining
Thank
us.
you.
so
It's
much
been a
for
pleasure.
having us.
It's been a pleasure, and hopefully we'll see you guys after you win.
Inshallah.
Inshallah.
Inshallah. Ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned. We'll be back with even more here on Bahrain Now. And now, ladies and gentlemen, let's take a look at what's going on beyond the studio in the following report.
The 19th edition of the Spring of Culture Festival continues to enrich the cultural scene throughout February, offering an exciting array of performances and events. In collaboration with the German Embassy and Bahrain Authority for Culture and Antiquities, a four-handed piano show has captivated music enthusiasts at the Bahrain Cultural Hall with a world-class act. The show starred German concert pianists who put out a unique, wacky and entertaining performances with the Spring of Culture Festival 2025.
So tonight, in collaboration with the Bahrain Authority for Culture and Antiquities, we are organizing a concert of a German piano duo. They're called Pianotainment. Why Pianotainment? Because they are playing pianos and making music, but they're also excellent entertainers. So what the public is going to witness tonight is not only music, but great fun.
We have some special pieces for tonight. It's going to be very entertaining, or should I rather say piano-taining. There's a wide range that we can offer, from Baroque to rock music, from jazz to techno, even techno, yes.
We have our second concert here in Bahrain, and we are looking forward to this concert. It will be funny, it will be surprising, and it will be fabulous.
The performance presented a captivating blend of musical brilliance and humor, appealing to audiences of all ages with over 25 years of international acclaim. Pianotainment has enchanted audiences in more than 100 countries, earning a place among Germany's top 10 entertainers, Konga Award. In celebration of youth empowerment and innovation, Injaz Bahrain hosted the 4th edition of the Injaz Bahrain Youth Festival under the patronage of Her Highness Sheikha Hassa bint Khalifa Al Khalifa, Injaz Bahrain chairperson.
Did you know that on each battery it says, "Do not dispose in general waste"? That is because if you were to throw your battery in the bin and it were to get damaged or punctured, it will cause large-scale fires. Green Cell has the main goal of protecting the people by collecting all batteries within battery bins that we would place in supermarkets and general areas, and in the end of each month we'd pile up the batteries and send them to recycling facilities to be safely treated. Green Cell would make money by negotiating with supermarkets and general areas on prices that they find best for our service.
So our project is using solar panels to purify water. we're gonna be installing products at people's homes, especially like people in like Dura or people that live next to oceans. So first of all, we're gonna have solar panels next to their homes or on their roofs, which are gonna generate solar energy. And then we're gonna have an energy converter which converts that solar energy to electrical energy. That electrical energy is then again gonna go on water purification systems. And we're gonna have seawater being purified to clean water. And then the clean water is gonna go to people's homes, which is gonna be very cost effective for them throughout their lifetimes. And it's a lifetime investment.
Injaz Bahrain's diligent efforts in the skills development and providing high-quality programs that refine youth capabilities directly contribute to preparing a creative generation capable of achieving their aspirations and actively contributing to development.
Our product is Crafty Creations, which is representing Bahrain's history, and we are trying to bring back the Dimnal civilization, which has showed us a lot of heritage in Bahrain. In this manner, we're selling clay pottery making kits, which varies from different sizes. And with that, we're trying to make sure that we bring back Bahrain's culture, we put people off their screen times, and we give them more of their family time and memories.
The annual Injaz Bahrain Youth Festival was attended by Her Excellency Mrs. Rawan bint Najib Tawfiqi, Minister of Youth Affairs, and welcomed over 10,000 visitors, featured a vibrant market showcasing local products and services created by young Bahraini entrepreneurs from various schools and universities.
We're a group of 20 students who has been working on an innovative project, an atmospheric water generator that transforms humidity into clean drinkable water, and we have also achieved 2 certifications from Ministry of Health proving that the water that our device generates is 100% drinkable and safe to drink, ensuring and keeping our promise for our clients and customers.
The festival comes to support youth creativity, the innovation environment, and promote entrepreneurship, aligning with the kingdom's vision to empower youth and future leaders. Vatel Bahrain hosted the 18th Vatel International Convention, welcoming international delegations and officials from more than 50 campuses and 35 countries worldwide.
I understand it is, by the way, the most attended convention of Vatel since the beginning. And I think it's very important for me to be here because the French embassy has always been supportive to the Vatel school here in Bahrain. They are doing a tremendous job attracting students not only from Bahrain but also from the region and developing more and more year after year to, let's say, give the best of what a French school and the Bahraini authorities and students can provide in hospitality.
The event served as a platform to review the most significant developmental milestones achieved by the college, foster collaboration among all international Vatel colleges, and facilitates the exchange of expertise and knowledge. Attendees then visited the Vatel Bahrain campus, where they enjoyed an introductory tour showcasing the facilities and learning environment.
Where typically different topics are discussed related to the education of hospitality management, and it is attended by the management and leaders of all campuses of Vatel across the globe. So there's lots of knowledge sharing, lots of discussions, shared group workshops, and so on. Last year, the topic was related to utilizing AI in education, and specifically for the specialization. And in this edition, the topic is related to youth and how to adapt to their aspirations.
As part of the visit, guests were warmly welcomed with refreshments prepared and served by Vatel students, demonstrating exceptional skill, creativity, and professionalism in hospitality.
Cette convention est la 18e convention pour le groupe Vatel à Bahreïn. L'objectif est de réunir l'ensemble des directeurs des écoles Vatel dans le monde, soit 50 écoles dans le monde, 35 pays représentés. Nous sommes très fiers de venir dans l'école du Bahreïn qui a été créée en 2018 L'objectif des conventions est de se réunir tous ensemble et également de travailler, de parler du futur. Et cette année, le thème, c'est les jeunes.
Today, this is Vatel 18th Convention, International Convention, gathering 50 schools, Vatel schools in the world, coming from 35 countries. The topic of this convention this year is the youth. So we will discuss about youth people nowadays, how it will impact our teaching, how they will adapt to the professional world, and how we can better teach and work together with the hospitality industry and the school together.
The experience reflected their mastery in applying their principles and techniques of hospitality education to real-life settings, further reinforcing the college's commitment to hands-on learning and excellence in service.
On the occasion of the 65th birthday of His Majesty the Emperor of Japan, the Embassy of Japan in the Kingdom of Bahrain hosted a reception night at Gulf Hotel Manama. The event saw the attendance of ministers, VIPs, diplomatic corps, and entrepreneurs. The Kingdom of Bahrain and Japan share a historical partnership rooted in shared values, mutual respect, trust, and cooperation across various sectors like trade, investment, culture, and education. This partnership between Bahrain and Japan extends beyond various domains to contribute to regional security, peace, and prosperity in the region. Japan is also keen to strengthen ties that unite the efforts of the two countries in addition to the continuation of flourishing Bahrain-Japan relations on the bilateral and multilateral levels.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the end of this episode. We thank you for watching, and as always, be sure to reach out to us on our social media accounts shown below. We love to hear from you. This was Khalid Hijrits. Until next time, good night and God bless.